Pam was praying and inviting us to imagine breathing in and out through our heart, I was imagining breathing in and out through my nose. Practical spirituality. So, it's the fall of 1984. I'm living in Alexandria, Virginia. I'm married, and I have 2 stepchildren. I call it pain without childbirth. Actually, they've always been a wonderful blessing in my life. But anyway, fall, 1984. And we have visitation with my husband's children 2 weekends a month. And lately, it's been really difficult. And I've had a really hard time because my stepson has been acting out and really causing challenges, always towards the end of his visit, you know. And on this particular visit, after this particular visit, the next day or so, he's talking with his dad on the phone, and he said, I hate you. And I hate you so much that if I had a gun, I would kill you. And I'm like, whoa, that's not okay. And so I don't know what to do because I'm taking these classes at this Unity Church in Fairfax. And I'm really trying to learn how to apply these principles in my life. And it's hard. It's hard because nobody else around me is trying to practice these principles, you know? If I could just get them to practice these principles, it would be so much easier for me. But alas, I can't do that. So I'm very concerned about this statement that Ian has made. And so I call Unity of Fairfax, and I ask for some pastoral care. I need counsel. And I think it was the associate minister for pastoral care or a licensed teacher, I'm not sure which. And she gets on the phone, and I tell her how horrible this is, what's going on. And I don't know what she said in between, but her bottom line was, you must let go and let God. And I'm like, is there somebody else I can talk to? You know? You obviously do not understand the problem here. This kid is saying he's going to kill his dad. And she said, you just got to let go and let God. Well, I hang up very discouraged. A few days later, I call back and said, I'll get somebody different, you know? And same person. And she says, you must let go and let God. And I finally get fed up, and I said, fine. I'll let go and let God, and when he shoots his dad, we'll deal with it from there. You know? I was not an easy student. So I get off the phone, and I don't know, but I really pray to be able, you know, I guess for the willingness to let go and let God, and know that everything will turn out fine, that I don't have to control everything that's going on. And the next, 2 weeks later, Ian and Kirsty come to visit, and we have a little altercation of some sort, and I mutter under my breath within earshot of my stepdaughter something about Ian's, heritage or something. And anyway, I'm not in the mood to be around them, and so they all go off on an outing to go swimming, and I stay home and sulk. So they come home, and Ken comes up and says to me, we need to talk. And I said, okay. And he said, Kirsty told Ian what you said, you know, about him. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, how am I going to get out of this one? So I go down, we have dinner, and after dinner I pour myself another glass of wine. That's back when I drank. There are reasons I drank. And I say to Ian, how about if we take a walk and just go and have a talk, thinking he's going to totally flip me off or whatever. And he said, great, I like that. Like, wow. So he gets a soda pop, and we go for a walk. And we sit down at this picnic table about a half a block from the house. And 3 hours later, his dad and sister come to find us. And we have had this incredible, incredible conversation. And he has said that the reason that he tries to make our life so difficult is that he really wants to come live with us. But he doesn't want to hurt his mom. You know? And he's afraid she won't love him anymore if he comes to live with us. And from that moment on, Ian and I are really close. And he treats me as a confidant, he trusts me, I trust him, and life is a lot easier. So I don't know, I was kind of amazed at the time, and I thought maybe there's something to this letting go and letting God stuff, you know? I wonder if that's what caused this to happen, and who knows. But I know that years later, anytime I'm asked about the first spiritual principle I remember impacting my life, it is letting go and letting God because of that incident. It was such a powerful demonstration to me that if I will just let go and let God, all things are well. I do not have to run the universe. I do not have to have everybody do what I think they should do, when I think they should do them, and how I think they should do them. And this idea of letting go and letting God is captured in one of our Unity Santa Fe core values. Which one do you think it might be? This is a test. Well, God first would apply, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
Humble surrender.
Humble surrender. That's what letting go and letting God is all about. It's also captured in the first 3 of the 12 steps of all the anonymous recovery programs. And it goes like this. We admitted that we were powerless over X, in my case, Ian, and our lives have become unmanageable. And the second step is, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And the third step, we became willing to turn our will and our life, our will and our life, over to the care of God as we understood God. So I love the spiritual power of release. Now, I haven't put it to work in releasing all the clutter in my house or my office yet, but I'm working on it because I know that's my salvation. The power of release is going to get me to do that. So the human condition that today's message addresses is twofold. One, it's that giving our power away. Giving our power away to people and circumstances and letting them make our lives miserable or unmanageable, whichever way, either way means the same thing. And the other way is holding on to things that hinder us or that no longer serve us. And we've all got a list of those, so I have to explain those to you. And the spiritual solution, of course, is release, letting go. Letting go and letting God, taking back our power that we have given to other people. And the reason that's a release action is because in Unity, one of the things that symbolizes release is what we call denials. And denials are not psychological denials where we pretend something's not happening, or that it's a river in Egypt or whatever, but that in fact, we are going to deny a situation power over us, okay? And also, the spiritual solution is letting go of some of our maybe cherished religious beliefs from the past, or theological beliefs from the past that no longer serve us, and understanding spirit and spiritual principles on a deeper level. So what's in it for you? Why would this power of release that is your inherent, it's one of your birthrights, it's your birthright, it's one of your things that you got as a divine inheritance. So how could the power of release, and I have to tell you a story about it while you're thinking about that, is at Unity Village there's this wonderful tower, and it's a water tower, but it looks like this great bell tower. And around it, they have a 12 Powers meditation garden. And at each station, there's a carved sculpture. And when they were raising money for this, they were selling each of the powers, you know? So you could buy a power for a pretty good price. And all the powers were taken except this one, because it's usually called, and Charles Fillmore called it, the power of elimination. And nobody wanted to buy elimination. It's also been called renunciation, and nobody wanted to buy renunciation. So they changed it to release, and it was snapped up immediately. But it really, I think it was Ed Rabel, one of our teachers, that said that the power is renunciation, and we put it into practice by eliminating. But I like to just call it release. Let go, let God. So where in your life would this be helpful? How could you see this blessing you?
It makes room for what you want.
That's right. As our good ministerial student, Peg Durkee, says, it makes room for things in our lives. In Unity, we call denials pulling weeds, and affirmation is planting flowers. So we have to release the old so that we can make room for the new. Anybody else? See how? Yes?
Yeah, when we release something that's not who we truly are, it's just part of our personality from the past, then we find who we really are.
Yeah, so when we release what we're not, or who we think we've been, it makes room for who we really are to blossom and spring forth. That's great. Stephanie?
I'm just thinking it's just a natural flow. We take in nutrition and we eliminate waste, and when I'm not eliminating, I'm very unhappy.
It's called constipation. Yeah, so Stephanie was saying, so it's just like our system. We have to take in nourishment, and then we have to let it go as waste. And boy, we'd be in a mess without that, right? Yes, Dan.
I look at it this way. The only thing I can release is the hallucination that I'm in control, which allows me to come into an embracement that I'm all that is. And this is a divine partnership. And I just forgot for a minute.
So to let go, to renounce
The hallucination.
the hallucination.
Control.
That he's in control. Imagine that. You know, how many, people say, gee, it's a shame you're not an alcoholic because there's this great start program. But let me tell you, we're all eligible for it in many forms, because the greatest addiction, and there's a whole book about this, I think Rami Shapiro wrote it, and that we are all addicted to control, to the illusion of control. So I'm glad that you can see how this is practical in your own life. Also, if we don't say no, there's no room for what? Yes. Absolutely no room for yes unless we say no. And to realize that thoughts, in Unity we believe thoughts are things, and they actually occupy space in our minds. And so when we can cleanse our mind, okay, and have a more healthy state of mind by letting go of these old thoughts of negativity, lack, limitation. So Each one of our 12 powers can be used for both personality or sense consciousness as well as an elevated consciousness. And so we can see where release comes in the physical in terms of clutter, you know, one I don't like to look at, you know, but we have physical clutter and physical things we need to let go of, and we have emotional baggage that we need to let go of. We have mental baggage, mental beliefs and attitudes that are not serving us that we can let go of. And then spiritually, we can let go of ideas that are based on the world, and so that we can make room for divine ideas, divine law, divine thoughts and actions. And the release center, as Stephanie was saying, is the book says in the abdominal area. What it really means is in the elimination areas of the body. But our whole digestive system is there in the abdomen. So that's where the power of release is located. And so when we can, we have to take in the nourishment and we have to let it go when it no longer serves us, okay? As long as it's serving us, it's okay, but then we got to let it go or we're in big trouble. And the same thing is with our mind. You know, how is our mind? You know, it sort of gives the term anal retentive a little bit, you know, deeper meaning, you know. There's things that we just need to let go of. We need to get over. And of course, in the Hebrew scriptures, there's the story of Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife? I'll just read you a few verses. When morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Go up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or else you will be consumed in the punishment of the city." But he lingered. Anybody linger here? He lingered. So the men seized him and his wife and his 2 daughters by the hand, and the Lord being merciful to him, they brought him out and left him outside the city. When they had brought them outside, they said, "Flee for your life. Do not look back and stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the hills, or else you will be consumed." But Lot's wife behind him looked back. And what happened? She turned to a pillar of salt. So she was Winifred Hausman, whose book I used for these handouts that you have on the 12 powers. She said the story of Lot's wife is an extreme example of one who has failed to develop the God-given faculty of, and she called it renunciation. Because this woman simply would not let go of her old life, even under the pressing emergency of the destruction of the 2 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, she suffered not only mentally, but physically. She missed her opportunity to start a new life in a new place. Mentally, she was trying to hold onto the past with all its negation, and her whole being was preserved in limitation, because the salt was a preservative. So her whole being was preserved in limitation as a result of it. So, how do we do this? How do we do it? Prayer and meditation. I can see some of you mouthing the words. Yes, prayer and meditation is always the first step. And so when we go into our time of prayer and meditation, what a wonderful time to surrender, to let go, to let God, to allow Spirit, our own divine nature, to reveal to us what is no longer serving us, and to put it on the altar. That's what I think of it as putting it on the altar and turning it over to my divine nature, who knows exactly what to do. Okay? And so I have to trust enough to be able to do that, to follow that after I get off my cushion. So, you can also use the handout. Okay. Let it go. You can use the handout to progress from that first level of release through the 7 levels. And at the 7th level, in all the powers, we become that power. We no longer have it. We become release and expression. And so I celebrate that we leave here today developing, committed and willing to develop our spiritual power of release, which is the energy of our divine nature that enables us to remove, denounce, to deny, and to let go. And let's begin doing that right now in a sacred time of shared prayer. And so let's begin by being still. Focusing on the breath. Allowing the breath to move in us, through us, as us. And with our inner vision, I invite us to hold the picture of the radiating white light of our divine nature, the Christ of our being, to flow from the top of the head to the release center at the base of the spine, and allowing that light to turn to a deep reddish brown, allowing it to radiate in and through every cell and atom of the body, and out beyond the body, creating an energy, a radiance of release, allowing it to take with it anything that does not serve us. And then beginning with the first level of release, silently repeat after me these positive, powerful, affirmative thoughts to develop your spiritual power of release. Awakening. I am aroused to positive action to free myself from wrong thinking habits of the past. I am aroused to positive action to free myself from wrong thinking habits of the past. Then we move to the second level. I turn away from old habits of limited thinking. I know that God is unlimited. I turn away from old habits of limited thinking. I know that God is unlimited. And from that level of repentance, we go to renunciation. I constantly replace old error thoughts with new spiritual truths. I constantly replace old error thoughts with new spiritual truths. And then to the level of refinement. My mind and body are cleansed and purified as I refine my thinking. My mind and body are cleansed and purified as I refine my thinking. Then to the level of remission. God's grace sets me free from mistakes of the past and the results of these mistakes. God's grace sets me free from mistakes of the past and the results of these mistakes. And to the ultimate level, recreation. My whole being is continually renewed and transformed after the image of its creator. My whole being is continually renewed and transformed after the image of its creator. I am in the flow of divine release. I release and let go whatever hinders me or no longer serves me in the silence. And as we gently bring our attention back to this time and place, silently say, thank you, my divine nature. I am the spiritual power of release. The energy of my divine nature that enables me to remove, denounce, deny, and let go. I am release. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That it is so, and so it is, and so I am.